result in more tsunamis. It's still not known how bad the damage is as communication is cut, and Professor Shane Cronin says more eruptions aren't the only risk.
Quite fortuitously, I think a lot of the ash plume has gone over uninhabited parts of the Pacific, so kind of between Tonga and Fiji, although there is still a fair amount of sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere, and so that can continue to produce acid rain.
Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
The all-new Kia Sportage is in store at New Spot Kia Salisbury Park. Order now to avoid delays. This Australian Open tennis update thanks to the super fast charging all-electric Kia EV6.
Aussie wildcard Alexander Vukic has this afternoon recorded his first win at Grand Slam level. 9 Shane McInnes reports.
In just his second main draw appearance at the Australian Open, Vukic has come from a set down to defeat 30th seed Lloyd Harris 4-6, 6-3, 7-5, 7-6. The 24-year-old from Sydney dominated with his ground strokes, while his service game often proved troublesome for Harris. 14th seed Denis Shapovalov has fought back to defeat Serb Laszlo Djere in 4 sets. Defending champion Naomi Osaka eased into the second round, as did Gael Monfils.
Australian batsman Travis Head is hoping to cement his place in the Test team by continuing his form from the Ashes. Head has been named player of the Ashes series and is turning his attention to Australia's tour of Pakistan in March. He says it's hard to know what conditions to expect on the subcontinent.
I've heard different people, different things. No one's travelled there for a long time. So, like any tour, same as Sri Lanka, I think you look at ways you may be able to counteract.
And the AFL will crack down on holding the ball this season. The league says umpires will now be less lenient towards players who've had prior opportunity and don't immediately and correctly dispose of the football. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Complete windscreens, same-day service and best price guaranteed. Proudly South Australian since 1976. Complete windscreens.
At Seaton got a level crossing fault, Tapley's Hill Road at Trimmer Parade. Melrose Park got water main works happening there. That's Dawes Road near Winston Avenue. Detours and speed restrictions in place. Flagstaff Hill, speeds reduced on Flagstaff Hill Road near South Road for those upgrade works. And Mile End got restrictions for works on Henley Beach Road near South Road. Cameras today, Gillian Road, McDonald Park and the North-South Motorway at Waterloo Corner. NAB Modbury is now open in a new location at Westfield Tea Tree Plaza. Visit the new NAB Modbury today for greater personal service, expert knowledge, digital tools and support. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Partly cloudy this afternoon, 25. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 25. Wednesday mostly sunny, 29. And Thursday partly cloudy, 35. Right now it's 24. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
School chaos looming. Teachers now voting on strike action over close contact rules. The terrifying branch fall in the city tree climb site. See the moment a hammer's thrown in an Adelaide road rage encounter. The hunt for a gun-wielding bandit in the northern suburbs. And a rapid antigen scam. What to look for when buying tests online. I'm Kate Collins. See the full story on 9 News Tonight at 6.
The FIVEAA Sport Show with Stephen Rowe.
Oh, police!
Adelaide's sport destination. All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sport Show.
Yes, it is. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to the show. It's a brand new year. The only issue we face on day one, no star of the show, Stephen Rowe. We'll get to that in just 1 second, but Mark Bickley is here for the week. Bix, welcome to you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you, Leith. Good afternoon, everyone. I've just made the transformation. I thought I was finishing up with breakfast. I did that for a month, but I got the late call-up for a reason which I guess is not great, but I think we've got our illustrious host on the line, Stephen Rowe. What's going on, Rowey?
Oh, Bix and Leith and listeners, Happy New Year. Yeah, look, thanks for holding the fort, Bix. The new Neil Passmore Craig. You're a man for a crisis.
I just hope
breakfast drive.
I just hope Matty Pantelis doesn't get sick. I'll be here in the evenings as well.
Captain versatile. But yeah, look, on the holidays, James got it on Boxing Day and we had 7 days in ISO. So 2022 hasn't started all that well for the Rowe family, other than the fact that it's been windy. But yeah, about 2 days ago I got symptoms And honestly, I've got a thick head, which people say I have anyway. I've got the aches and pains, maybe a tight chest, short of breath, wheezy cough and a temperature. Put it this way, Bix and Leith, you know you're crook. It's like the flu. I mean, I think tomorrow my doc said it'll be my worst day. But if it doesn't get much worse than this, you know, you just got to do your time and take the 10 days and put the legs up and listen to you guys on the sports show.
Well, I guess if you're going to be in isolation or in some sort of incapacitated for a period of time, it's a pretty good time to do it. I know we just finished the cricket, but the tennis is about to start. There's footy on the weekends. There's still a bit of Big Bash. You've got the 36ers coming up this week. There's the A-League going on. What about your summer, though, mate? You finished up, well, I think the third week in December. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy, apart from that little period of isolation?
Well, it's been that windy, Bix. You know, I judge a holiday on how many times I get out in the boat. So I've probably done that 2 or 3 times. As I said, just after Christmas, James got COVID. So 7 days in ISO for the whole family. We were obviously close contacts because he lives under our roof. Then we went for a little bit of a holiday up north, which was great. I caught the vid. I'm back, and that's it. You know what? It goes quick. But can I just talk about the Test series just quickly?
Yes.
4-0. We have unearthed Cam Green, have we not?
22 years of age.
He's going to be something special.
Yep.
Trav Head, he went next level with his 2 tons. I liked Alex Carey. A lot of people knocked him, but the sky's the limit for him. And Pat Cummins as skipper. But how's the Pomps? They were deplorable. We won the Ashes series in 11 days and 1 session. Do you know who made the 3rd most runs for England? Extras. I mean, honestly, they were woeful.
And that's one of the questions I think that a lot of people are asking themselves. Were we that good or were they that bad? And the little
question.
slide rule I put over it is Scott Boland, who had the most remarkable 3 tests and averaged, what do you have? I think it's, in the teens for the wickets, 13 or 15 wickets at 8. Is Scott Boland that good? He's probably our 6th best bowler in the country, and he comes in and just absolutely runs through them. It was outstanding to see it, and we all love it when a battler comes in and does really well. But I think that he's never going to do that ever again. And he came up against a side that was woefully prepared and also at odds. I just don't think they're united. From the moment they didn't pick Broad in the first test, I think they were all at sea, and I don't think they recovered.
Yeah, that was the cricket. Just quickly, the tennis. Good riddance to Novak Djokovic, I think. What a debacle on every front that ended up. I heard you on Brecky every day about it, Bick, so I have no sympathy for him. He tried to, bend the laws, if you like. It's simple. Conform, get jabbed, do your homework before you get on a plane or on your bike, and he's been sent on his bike.
And I think everyone would agree. Was it dealt perfectly? No, but I think in the end they took a windy road, but they got to the destination that most people thought was the right one, and that was him not playing in the Australian Open, and thankfully now it's started and it's away, and let's everyone get behind Ash Barty, because I think there's a real story brewing. It'll be fabulous. There's not too many better ambassadors on the world stage in sport, never alone an Australian who we love to get behind. She's just awesome, and I'm sure you're going to be right behind her, Rowey.
Yeah, and one last one, I know I've got to go, but Thanasi Kokkinakis won his first ATP. Talk about persistence, hunger, resilience, my saying, Vix Fortis in Priscilla. 2015, he had a shoulder surgery. 2016, he got no ranking because he was injured. 2017, he flopped out. 2018, a fractured kneecap. It's all happened to him. He pulled his pectoral in 2019, injured 2020, improved last year. That was a remarkable win, and I just wish him so much luck. I think he's on centre court very shortly. But Thanasi Kokkinakis, that was my highlight of the summer today.
No doubt. And just quickly before we let you go, young Jimmy, is Jimmy Rowe okay? We heard he's had it as well, you just mentioned.
Yeah, well, he was one of the first Crows to get it. I think 21 of them in total got it over that period. Good thing for him and those 21 and most AFL players that did through that break, they don't miss any training. So he hit training on Monday, he had his 10 days. I think day 2, which I am now, he had a bit of a scratchy voice. Great thing is also Burjo delivered an entire gym set to him, and he sat out in the shed and worked on that. It's probably as fit as he's ever been, to be honest. Sat there off the cans for 10 days. It was brilliant. No, he's good. He's flying.
So you might be able to jump into the gym yourself and come back looking like The Rock.
No chance.
Come on, Rowey. You know what's going to happen now, don't you? Is the wind is going to die off. There's going to be perfect weather for fishing, and you'll be sitting there twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, 10 days. Good luck for us, Row.
All right.
Well done, men.
You know you can call in at any stage. You'll be listening to the show for the next
I might
week.
do that.
You might be
I
a
might
chance
do that.
to win the Wallace Pass, but we'll also
Done.
dump you if you're inappropriate. We hope you get better. Stay healthy, and we'll speak soon.
Thanks, man. Well done, Bix.
Good on you, Rowey.
Stephen Rowe, so he's out for the week. It's the new norm, Bix. He's got the vid.
And there wouldn't be too many people that haven't been touched. We've had members of our family. We've got grown-up children who have had a touch with it. And there's boyfriends and there's isolation and there's all that going on. And we spent 7 days in isolation after coming as a close contact on Christmas Day. So, yeah, there aren't too many people who haven't been impacted by it. And I think that's only going to continue once school starts back as well.
We've got to get our head around this. It's a bit like when you picked up the Thursday paper and you saw hamstring, Achilles, back. It will now be COVID-related, and we'll see players in all sports miss a period of time. We're going to take a short break. Mark Bigley sitting in for Stephen Rowe. Monday, 4:15, we'll take a break. Big weekend of sport. We'll break it down for you next.
This is Brad. Brad loves his aircon, set to a frosty 16 degrees. But Brad has a problem. He gets the gilts having it on all day. Well, Brad, save your gilts for giving the family frostbite, because NRG Solar gives you electricity guilt-free. Just guilt-free cold air all day long.
Electricity guilt-free with NRG.
Maybe I'll sing next time, Brad. NRGsolar.com.au.
Why do so many people love DIY? Well, mainly, it saves a lot of money. Introducing Termibusters, a DIY termite monitoring system that will save you thousands, and it only costs $270. The DIY Termibusters kit comes complete with 15 monitoring stations that you can assemble and easily install around your property. And the bonus? You'll save thousands protecting your home from termites. Termibusters.com.au. Do it yourself and save thousands.
Here's your cuppa, Bev.
Thanks, Barry. Looks like the neighbours are clearing out early.
Bev and Barry are grey nomads. They love a roadside campsite, a cuppa in the morning, and watching the other adventurers come and go.
Hey, Barry, looks like they're getting pretty close to that tree.
Oh, they'll need to visit Walker Crash Repairs, Bev. You can always relax on the road with Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA-approved crash repairer for caravans and cars.
Here's a true SA family business, ACET Couriers, with brothers, sisters, cousins, all being part of it. But it's not just the family they look after, it's the community also. Not only do they look after your deliveries, but they also support over 16 local sporting clubs. And that's not all. They also work with and support the Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation. With support from Breakthrough, ACET Couriers strive for a happy and positive workplace, which is probably why they're the fastest growing courier service here in SA. And that's why right now they need more drivers. So if you're looking for a job that'll take you places, kickstart your career with ACET Couriers. Give them a call today.
It's value the Australian way at Coles with great fresh specials this week. Like delicious loose cherries, 100% Aussie and just $11.50 a kilo. This week at Coles. Offer ends Thursday.
I'm Travis Denham from Again Real Estate. It's often just one special feature that helps spark interest in a home. Outdoor blinds used to create entertaining areas really set a home apart. They add extra appeal to patios and alfresco areas, an investment that adds value for sure.
Improve, invest and add value with quality outdoor blinds by Country. Visit countryblinds.com.au for a free measure and quote.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sports Show.
18 minutes after 4, Mark Bigley sitting in for Stephen Rowe, who's away like a kid. Bix for his first day of school. School uniform all nice and neat, had the lunch packed, and then all of a sudden caught COVID. He's out for the week, but it's great to have you here. People can actually see you. Sadly, they can see me too, but throughout this year, one of the new additions to FIVEAA is much like FIVEAA Breakfast. You can now see us on the live stream. So the Facebook, the YouTube and the FIVEAA live stream.
Well, let's just hope that they're sort of panning back a little bit. I don't think they need to see too many close-ups of you and I.
You're a handsome man. I asked Brooklyn that. I want to be like that satellite. I want from a long, long way away. We're going to break down the weekend in sport in just 1 second. Let's check the traffic first. For your drive home, nothing beats the feeling of a new Mazda from Edwardstown Mazda. The new year, new car and new you.
At Ascot Park, got a smash on Dawes Road near Marion Road. Seaton, level crossing fault on Tapley's Hill Road at Trimmer Parade. Melrose Park, water main works on Dawes Road continue near Winston Avenue, detours and speed restrictions in place. And Flagstaff Hill, speeds reduced on Flagstaff Hill Road near South Road for those upgrade works. Cameras today, Robe Terrace North Adelaide and Sampson Road at Elizabeth Grove. Boosters are available 4 months from your second dose at GPs, pharmacies and SA Health clinics. Book now at covidvaccine.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
So at the end of the day, Bix, it was a massive weekend in sport.
Mission accomplished! Australia make it 4-0 in an historic Ashes test at Hobart, and they have demolished England.
Kokonakis conquers all in Adelaide.
Australian Open is much more important than any player.
This whole situation has taken a lot of spotlight away from us competitors.
Brady, touchdown Gronkowski, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win it by 16.
So let's break this down one by one.
Sure.
Let's start with the first part of that, and that is the Australian cricket team have won the Ashes 4-0. They were 1 wicket away from a clean sweep. What did you make of the summer?
Yeah, look, Rowey and I just touched on it briefly before the break, and that was hard to get a gauge to it. Was it the fact that Australia was so good, or was it the fact that England was so bad? Now, we know that a lot of their players had disrupted preparations. Were they coming? Weren't they coming? They got over here. They had Stokes and Bairstow. They had injury clouds. They weren't really in great form. And in the end, it just showed that their whole test makeup has just been a disaster probably for the last 12 months. Now, I know there's been a lot of focus on the shorter form of the game in England, and they've won the 50-over World Cup, and many think they probably should have won the T20 World Cup more recently, but they bombed out to Australia. But it just goes to show you have to focus on the most important form of cricket, and that is Test cricket in 99 out of 100 people's eyes. And I just feel like England have taken their eye off that long-form game.
So Travis Head wins the Player of the Series. Made the most runs, a couple of nice knocks in there, but you could have really thrown a blanket over about 4 or 5 players for the Player of the Series.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were talking about Mitchell Starc up until probably the last test, and then Scott Boland, who took, I think it was 15 wickets at 8 in an average, which is absolutely unheard of. But I think the ball dominated, didn't it? So there was a lot of bowlers, Pat Cummins got wickets, that were able to do really well for Australia. But I guess there was a couple of moments in the series, and I think Head's knock in Brisbane was really important, the way he took the game on and scored really quickly, took that game away from England. And then again in Hobart, when the game was really in the balance, he was one of the very few players who were able to get runs on the board on that absolutely green top pitch. So, I think he had a really big influence on 2 of Australia's wins. You could argue Boland a little bit the same, but he came in when a little bit of the heat was out of the series, really.
I think you averaged 60 in what is a bowler-dominated series. You're going to get the votes. Pat Cummins, the skipper, spoke about the evenness of this team.
I'm really happy as a captain. I'm not sure Nathan Lyon agrees with me. I think that's been a highlight as well. Not only, I guess, the 11 guys playing, but I think we've had about 15 players used in this series, and some really tough calls to leave out some high-quality players. So, yeah, it feels like we're really building to something big. To have someone like Cam Green in his second year to grow, as well as some of the younger players, Trav Head, Marcus Harris, and then obviously the old stalwarts like Scotty Boland and all the old pros just continue on their form. It's just brilliant.
Hasn't he been great as the skipper too? There's a calmness to him.
And he's just taken to it like a duck to water. There was he made a little quip there about Nathan Lyon and 82230000. If you know the stat that happened in Hobart with Nathan Lyon, give us a call. A little spot quiz there for anyone that can work that out. There was a little intricacy there of about Nathan Lyon, so give us a call on that one. But also there was this great little moment where when they were celebrating, they had the alcohol out and they were about to pop the corks and spray that around. And when that happened, Usman Khawaja just delicately removed himself because he didn't want to be a part of that. And then Pat Cummins picked up on that and he said to the boys, hey, get rid of the alcohol and let Usman be up here and celebrate with us. And I just think that's a really little thing, but it just shows, one, that he's got this understanding of the value system of all of his players, And 2, he wanted to be inclusive. And Usman had such a great test in Sydney and is such a well-loved part of that group that he wanted him to be able to share with it. So I just thought that's just being able to read the situation really quickly and really well. So I thought that was excellent.
It is great awareness as the skipper. Wayne from Taparu, do you know Bix's question about Nathan Lyon?
Yeah, mate, he didn't bowl a ball.
Did not bowl a ball. Can you believe that? Well done, Wayne. Hang on the line. We'll find something for you to give to you.
So previously Nathan had bowled, I think, 3 overs was the lowest in a test match, but when the ball was doing so much off the pitch, you wouldn't throw him the ball. So poor old Nathan, luckily he could bat, hit a couple of nice sixes in his first innings.
Exactly.
Well done, Wayne. We'll put you back to Sam, chuck you a prize to start off the new year. Let's continue because the knives are out for England, and it was led by Lord Ian Botham.
It's been embarrassing, if I'm honest. Gutless. I thought the way that they performed today will have disappointed me, and it will have disappointed everyone back home. And they should be disappointed in that dressing room as well with the performance. The one thing that we have to do now is we take our heads out of the sand, and we need to pull together and prioritise red ball cricket and get back in, because if we're not careful, the Eskimos will be beating us.
Good team, the Eskimos. I was thinking about, remember the old days you go into Kmart, you do the Superchrome test team, and you put the players from the 2 teams. I don't think you get many English in at all.
No. Joe Root was, I think, coming into this series, maybe the number 1 or 2 batsman in the world, and still hasn't made it. Didn't make a ton in this series and still hasn't made one in Australia, but had that really good innings early on in the series. But a lot of question marks over his captaincy. I think Ian Botham summed it up. He spoke about their grit, their determination. It was non-existent. Where was the fight? Apart from that last session in the 4th test, there was none of that. It's an Ashes series where, we talk about figuratively going to war. Well, there wasn't that. There were smiles, there were jokes between the 2 teams. It didn't look like they really dug in at any stage.
No. Let's turn our attention to tennis. Sam Groth is going to join us from Channel 9 after 4:30. What a weekend it was for Adelaide's own Thanasi Kokkinakis.
You guys were, again, I feel like you guys should have half of this trophy, honestly. You guys were unbelievable, got me through so many matches this week. The atmosphere, the support, I hear every comment, I love it so much. Wouldn't want to win my first title anywhere else, so honestly, thank you guys so much.
How good was that?
Amazing. First week made the semis, which was great, so in terms of his build-up for the Australian Open, then to play another heap of matches in the second week and actually break through and win his first title. 25 years of age. You heard Rowey read out his injury rap sheet. It's as long as your arm, and he's just hasn't had a consistent run at it. And I know he's got a new trainer who I think he's had a fair bit of experience in the AFL scene, and that's trying to build some resilience into his body. And they're aiming to play 40 weeks of tennis a year, and if he gets that and gets that consistency, I think he can work his way, if not the top 50, even the top 30, some of the really good scribes are talking about. So I'll ask Sam Groth about that and see if he thinks, or how far he thinks Thanasi Kokkinakis can go.
It's a big trophy. Where do you put it? It's a really big trophy.
Well, they say it's something to hang your hat on. You literally could hang your hat, you could hang your coat on it. It's quite a striking trophy, isn't it?
I knew it was coming. Let's finish with Novak, because I know there's been a bit of Novak fatigue over the last couple of weeks, but John McEnroe spoke out today about him being kicked out of Australia for the Australian Open.
What's gone on the last 12 days, absolute joke. I actually texted Novak during this. It's total BS. I mean, listen, if he decides not to have a vaccine and the Australian authorities say to him, you cannot go down there unless you're vaccinated, end of story, it's black or white. He decides whether or not he wants to do it. He's got very strong beliefs. He's entitled to those beliefs. I tell you, it was gutsy in a way. I had 7 majors. He's got 20. The reason he's got a lot more than me, that he was willing to go risk that.
Look, I love John McEnroe talking about tennis, but he can be a little bit off the track when he gets away from tennis, and I just wonder how much of the story he knows. Does he know that what Melbourne's been through in the last 2 years? And I think that is part of the problem. People that haven't been in Australia don't know that Melbourne's the most lockdown city in the world, don't know what they've been through, don't know what they've had to give up. And I think that is part of the reason why they just didn't get the temperature right of this whole scenario. Novak just thought, well, I'm the number 1 player in the world. I'll just swan in and they'll love me, because that's what most cities do.
Should heads roll? Craig Tiley, someone at Tennis Australia?
I think there needs to be some sort of review about how it got to this. And once again, I think Tennis Australia probably misread the room as well and thought, if we can deliver the number 1 player in the world, that'll be a big double thumbs up in our column. But I think when you do that in a way that looks like someone's bypassed what has been a very, very strict protocol, that people have missed out on funerals and sick relatives and sacrificed so much, and someone who's the number one player in the world and has got some privilege just is able to swan straight past that doesn't cut it.
It doesn't pass the pub test.
You're right.
We're going to take a short break. 4:30 news headlines with Michaela on the way. Then we're off to Melbourne Park. We'll speak to Channel 9's Sam Groth.
The biggest stories of 2021, as heard on Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Work to identify the Somerton man will continue.
The excavator moved in to the Somerton man's grave at 5 this morning.
The head of major crime who's in charge of the operation here, Des Bray.
Just because it's a long time ago doesn't mean that we shouldn't do our very best.
In 2022, trust FIVEAA.
DNA work to be done on the corpse to hopefully find some link.
Always informing Adelaide.
Home renovations can be akin to climbing Everest. Every step of the way can be torturous to reach your ultimate goal. Well, the same could be said for home renovations, but not if you go with Bi-Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens. The team at Bi-Urban have always believed the journey is just as important as the destination. So start your journey with Bi-Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts. Visit biurban.com.au.
Yeah, they say if you want love, you give love. If you need help, help someone else. My identity was linked as a victim. And as soon as you start doing things for others, your identity changes and your value in you changes. So I'm not that victim anymore. You know, I've been able to take that and make good out of it.
A Fire Inside. Streaming on 9 now. Made possible by NRMA Insurance.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. COVID case numbers appear to have stabilised in SA with another 3,829 infections and no further deaths. Crisis aid organisations are gearing up to help residents affected by a volcanic eruption in Tonga. Labor is demanding the Prime Minister take responsibility for the visa storm surrounding Novak Djokovic, and Rafael Nadal has made a commanding start to his 17th Australian Open campaign, beating his American opponent in 3 sets. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
At Ascot Park, got a smash on Dawes Road near Marion Road. Seaton level crossing fault there, Tapley's Hill Road at Trimmer Parade. At Melrose Park, Watermain works on Dawes Road continue. That's near Winston Avenue, detours and restrictions in place. And mile end restrictions for works on Henley Beach Road near South Road. Cameras, Bridge Road, Salisbury East and Julian Road at McDonald Park. In search of a little more? Experience a little more of South Australia this summer. Visit southaustralia.com for last minute holiday deals, things to do and places to stay. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Mostly clear tonight, a low of 14, sunny tomorrow 25. Right now it's 23. More news at 5 o'clock in As It Happens on FIVEAA.
Introducing the all-new Kia EV6, our first fully electric high-performance vehicle. With ultra-fast charging and over 510 kilometres of driving range. The Kia EV6 has advanced tech, a 12.3-inch panoramic curved display and zero emissions. It's as silent as the critics. To find out more, visit kia.com.au.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. Make sure your tyres are safe these holidays with Bob Jane T-Marts. No one beats our great getaway deals. Buy 3, get 1 free, and up to $100 instant cashback on iconic brand, passenger, performance, SUV and 4x4 tyres. The biggest tyre range from just $65, our best tyre price guarantee and Australia's largest alloy wheel choice from only $125. We'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
When I retire, how much is the pension? How much more will I need? The only figure that you should remember is 5. 5 years. That's how long it will take to prepare for the retirement you want with MBA Financial Strategists. Our Retire in 5 plan will project where you'll be in 5 years and beyond. You might find that the wealth you need, you already have. Don't put it off. Start with a free consultation with MBA Financial Strategists. Retireinfive.com.au. See website for T's and C's.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sports Show.
27 minutes to 5 afternoon, everyone. Mark Bickley sitting in for Stephen Rowe, who has COVID. You might have heard at the start of the show today, was also mentioned in FIVEAA Breakfast. That means that Mark Bickley is here for the week. It's great to have you, Bix. Before we head to Melbourne Park, we should say Rowey not the only one under duress this week. Are you a little banged and bruised after your weekend?
Well, I've been spending a little bit of time at Aldinga Beach, which has been nice with the family. And my son, my eldest son, is 12. He's one of these kids who, like skateboarding and surfing and skimboarding, all those sort of balancy type things. And I'm not really that guy. I'm more the bats and balls type of guy. Happy to hit anything, but not really great on those other things. Anyway, we were having a bit of fun and he was doing the skimboard. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to actually make an effort here. I'm going to see if I can master the skimboard. Well, first crack at it and put a little bit too much weight on the front foot and went straight over the handlebars, so to speak, forward, bang, and landed quite heavily. I think I might have broken my elbow just quietly.
So the beauty of this is your lovely wife, Tori, has sent us that video. So we will put that on the socials. Rowey's Sports Show on Twitter. You can have a look at that. We'll also take a photo of your elbow because you've got a nice little leg there just at the minute.
So this is the funny part about it. When I said, hey, what's this? I'm going to have a crack at this. We were with the whole couple of families there. Everyone thought, this is a great idea to get their phone out. So we got it from about 3 or 4 different angles of me just biting the dust. I had the sunglasses into the sand.
Well, see, when you're a two-time Hall of Famer, you don't expect you to go A over T first try, but you did.
And here's the other bit. Now, I thought to myself, I was literally after stuffing it up the first time, I was going to pick up the skimboard and throw it and storm off. And I thought, no, I'm going to set a really good example for my two boys. So I just picked up myself, put my ego in my back pocket, and I thought, I'm going to do this properly. And I tried to do it for another 10 or 15 minutes, and I was getting better at it, and I was starting to glide on the skimboard. And then I got my weight too far back, and I literally was about to get shot up backwards and land on my backside. And I quickly threw out my left leg just so I didn't land on my bum. And guess what? Pulled the hammy.
Oh, boy.
So I am in all sorts at the moment, and I've come to the realisation at 52, that's enough. No more skimboards, no skateboards, no anything. Just stick to what you know.
Shelve it. Let's head to Melbourne Park, 24 minutes after 5. Just rest up there, Big. Sam Groth commentates for Channel 9. You can see the Australian Open, all the key matches on 9 and 9 Gem. Every point of every match is available right across the streaming services there on 9 now. Sam Groth, appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me. Wow, day one, how good.
Well, we're going to get to that in just one second. What's it like, though? The circus has finally left town.
Yeah, well, they hasn't left. I passed a couple of Novak fans as I was walking around the site just before who made me very aware of their opinion of what I've been saying. But no, he is gone, and it's good to see tennis being played, and we actually focus on what the Australian Open's all about.
Yeah, well, for those, Sam, that mightn't have heard, you were quite outspoken as a proud Victorian. You thought that after all that Victorians had been through, this was just a bit of a smack in the face. Eventually, I guess we got the right answer in the end.
Yeah, it took a bit longer than probably we all wanted, but I think the fact that an exemption was granted by the Victorian government for someone to come down and play tennis didn't sit well with a lot of Victorians who, got vaccinated maybe when not everyone wanted to. Now, whether you agree with it or not, so it's what we were told we needed to do. And, some people would have preferred that he didn't come down and that the rules shouldn't have been different for someone playing tennis compared to everyday Victorians.
The uncertainty of the draw, the fact that it went on as long as it did that cause any ructions amongst the players?
Yeah, I think there was certainly a level of frustration, no doubt. You prepare. This is one of the 4 biggest events, and it's the first major of the year. And normally the schedule will come out on Saturday. You can prepare if you're playing on Monday. Now, if you're playing first thing Monday morning, you want to try to get a hit in on Sunday morning, try and get similar sort of conditions and make sure you have enough time to recover. Players weren't able to necessarily have any understanding of when they might play today. So it's certainly not your typical preparation for a Grand Slam. I mean, from my point of view, and probably from a lot of the current players' point of view, they would have preferred things done, even though there was a circumstance we probably could have all never seen, but at least kept to the same plan and schedule that we normally get, and then worry about replacing Novak later when that time came.
And finally, last question around Novak, tournament director Craig Tiley. How does he come out of all this, and what's the ramifications for him?
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell, won't it? I mean, Craig's done an amazing job. I've known Craig since I was 15 years of age when he first came down, and was Director of Player Development. Obviously, what he's done for this event and the players over the years is quite remarkable. I mean, it is the number one Grand Slam in terms of how the players view it, how the fans see it, and, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously a controversy they never would have wanted to deal with, but only time will tell to see how that all plays out, to be honest.
So, Sam, a few of the top seeds breathing easier with no Novak there. Who's breathing the most? Who's now the favourite in your eyes?
Well, I think Medvedev, for sure. I mean, comes off that US Open win last year, finalist here. He wouldn't have played Novak until the final anyway. But I think you're right. Everyone looks at it very, very differently. That whole top section of the draw now, Matteo Berrettini would have been, if everything goes according to seeds, would have been Novak's opponent in a quarterfinal, Alexander Zverev in a semi-final. Everyone certainly, while, some people would have still loved to see Novak here, I don't think there's a single person in the draw who, from a purely tennis perspective, is sad to see him go in terms of a competitive side of things.
Now we're talking with Sam Groth, who of course is part of Nine's coverage of the Australian Open. Rafa Nadal, I think he's one of everyone's favourite players. You mentioned that a number of guys in that next group who are sort of charging up and looking to take over the mantle. Can Rafa put another Grand Slam on his list?
Oh, I mean, I'd like to think so. I mean, I don't think he'd be still out here playing if he didn't believe it was possible. He certainly came in a little bit underdone, having not played since last August with a foot injury and then having COVID not too long before coming out to Australia. Won a lead-up tournament here, got 3 matches, ended up winning that title. Wasn't convincing, but once you get into best-of-5 set tennis in a Grand Slam, I don't think you can ever write him off.
Ash Barty, I think everyone is riding her hopes. 44 years since the last an Australian female, won the tournament. How are you seeing her chances?
Oh, well, it's first of all, she's the number one seed we can all get behind. A world number one we can all support, not have to worry about too much controversy, which is a nice little side note. But again, one in Adelaide. So matches coming in this early in the season, she was great in Adelaide. Only got better as the tournament went on, and like always, you throw a blanket over a bunch of the players in the women's field just because of how tight it is. Yeah. But the draw didn't do her any favours. Naomi Osaka, who, potential 4th-round matchup, she was absolutely dominant today. So, while I'm boyish on Ash, and I think she, is my favourite to win the tournament, when you look forward to that possible meeting with Osaka, it's certainly mouth-watering. From a fan's perspective, and I'm sure from a tournament perspective, that'll be one of the matches of the tournament if we get there.
And let's talk about one of the local products here, and that is Thanasi Kokkinakis. Great 2 weeks in Adelaide. And you're someone who really hit his, your best form later on in your career. He's taken a little while to get there with his body and getting himself right. But is he someone who can not only make an impact in the Australian Open in the next couple of weeks, but could he go on to be top 50, maybe top 30 in the world?
Oh, certainly. He's always had those ramps. I mean, he's got a win against Roger Federer in Miami when Roger was number one in the world. Obviously last week in Adelaide, I think, let's say the last 2 weeks, because the first week of semi-final would have been great for him. But then to back up and get through that many matches for his body, 9 matches in 2 weeks would have given him a lot of confidence with all the injuries that he's had. Now, to turn up here to Melbourne Park on the back of that, it's going to be difficult and there's a lot of expectation. I think we've also just got to remember it does take time to get back to that top level week in, week out. But, he's almost back inside the world's top 100 now. He can most certainly make waves on the tour again. And, for him, it's going to be about managing his body and getting the right team around him to help him do that. But I have no doubt that if he's playing his best tennis, he's top 30 in the world for sure, if not better.
Fingers crossed. He's in action this afternoon. Also on Channel 9, we can see Ash Barty tonight, Isla Tomljanovic, John Millman, to name but a few. Before we let you go, appreciate your time, Sam. We're hearing reports of a bad smell there at Melbourne Park, going by the name of Tom Wren. Avoid as much as you can, Sam.
I'm about to go into commentary with him for that Thanasi Kokkinakis match. I tell you, I can't get rid of him. I had to deal with him in Adelaide. He was talking to me about how good his catches were on the side of the court when he was doing his court announcing. And, I love Tommy. He's a good fella, but I will be happy when I hand him back to you guys in a couple of weeks.
Well, and someone said that he might have snuck in as a ball boy, and that's how he got in there.
Oh, it's quite possible. I tell you, we just did a little bit of stuff for our digital team, and yeah, we do have to find a little step for him to stand on, but he's a good fella.
Good on you, Sam. Happy calling. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
From Channel 9, you can see all the tennis action. That is Sam Groth, our special guest.
Where will you find Australia's best cyclists this January? Racing, climbing, weaving and flying their way through South Australia as the Santos Festival of Cycling returns. Follow the riders as they battle for supremacy in this action-packed 9-day event featuring road, track, paracycling, BMX, mountain bikes and cyclocross. Plus a thrilling 3-stage men's and women's National Road Series race through SA's most scenic regions. Get excited and get involved. January 21 to 29. Visit tourdownunder.com.au.
This is the sound of Julian's bargain price vacuum with deep express suction. This is the sound of Julian trying to fix his bargain price vacuum, which infuriates him deeply. Yes, this is the sound of bargain regret. When it comes to the important stuff, like insurance, don't risk it. Go to Amy instead, who offers great value cover you won't regret. Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by AAI Limited Trading as Amy, read the PDS at amy.com.au. TMD also available.
Hey Adelaide, check out this hot weekend getaway to Uluru that hundreds of South Aussies have already enjoyed. Private jet charter flying from Adelaide to Uluru direct. Accommodation with breakfast. Fully hosted touring. 3 days and 2 nights. And a stack of once-in-a-lifetime experiences like Field of Light. Plus save up to $1,000 with the NT Summer Sale. Uluru by private jet departing Friday, February 25th. Seats are limited from just $2,029 per person. Search NT Now or book online at ntnow.com.au.
You've selected your block up on the river. Your mind is buzzing with ideas. This is going to be the best river home ever. Raised high, breezes flowing, great times ahead. But first, you need to walk through the Selector Homes display village and let your design ideas flow. Selector Homes have been creating holiday homes for over 25 years, and they are experts in building pole homes. Selector Homes and Building Solutions Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton. Visit selectorhomes.com.au.
You might think having thousands of PALs is excessive, but that's not what the team at Parafield Airport Liquor Store think, because that's how many they have. Sure, they might be made up of over 200 gins, 300 craft beers, 500 whiskies from around the world, and over 2,000 wines. But they're some of the best pals you can have, and they're always looking for more. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Aura Retirement Resort in Findon is 5-star resort-style living with all the comforts, activities and services that you need to relax and enjoy life. Inquire now to secure your luxurious apartment in the Ruby Tower. Brand new 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments start from just $370K. Start truly living at Aura by Livewell Findon. For more information, go to aurabylivewell.com.au or call their friendly sales team today.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sports Show.
14 minutes of 5 on this Monday. Mark Bigley sitting in for Stephen Rowe, who has tested positive to COVID. So Bix is here all week. Rowey returning next week. You can get to us via the phone, 8223 0000. Our Sip and Save text line 0448 08 1395. Or Bix, now we are being live streamed via the Facebook, via the YouTube, via the FIVEAA. You can also send your messages there, which people are doing. Some people are being unkind, but that's okay.
I'm just looking at you right now, and you've come up beautifully.
It's horrendous, isn't it? I'm very sorry about that. Let's go to Les, who wants to chat about the Ashes from Hallicove. Our first caller of the year, Les. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, and Happy New Year to everybody at FIVEAA.
Thanks, Les.
Question on the test matches. If I was to book for a test match, can I book for 1 day or 5 days?
You can go just to 1 day if that's what you're looking to do. Is this a joke? Is there a punchline in this?
No, I'm serious about this. Like, if I book for 5 days and the match, like last night, only goes for 3, what happens to those other 2 days?
Well, that's the luck of the draw, I guess. And I'm not sure how many people do book for the whole 5 days. I think most people will just go the one. Maybe if it's across a weekend, they might go for the 2. But there are the devotees who love to see every ball being bowled, but that's just, you take the good with the bad. Sometimes they go down to the last session like they did in Sydney, and other times they finish a little bit early, Les.
I think at the end of the day, when they're 3 for 12 in the first innings, I thought the test was going to go 2 days. But what about that? England bowled on every day of that test match. That's how fast it went.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable.
17 odd wickets in 1 day and 300 runs.
Just a Telstra Store Mount Barker text line. Mark, playing the devil's advocate, devil's advocate here. A very good performance by Australia against a mediocre opposition, but the Hobart Test showed conclusively again that D. Warner, a pair of ducks, cannot handle the seaming ball in the same conditions he failed dismally in England last time. He cannot possibly be selected again for an Ashes trip. It would be like playing a man short. Enjoy your show. That was from G. Now, I guess, and it was an absolute green top, wasn't it? You've never seen a pitch look like that. But what it does show, and this is part of the reason I said, were Australia that good or were England that bad? Towards the end, David Warner didn't have a great series, but he's 36 years of age. Usman Khawaja replaced
2 tons.
Marcus Harris. He's 36 years of age. Will Pucovski is I think everyone wants to see him step into that top order. But he's still, the jury's out whether he's going to come back and what that looks like. So there's no real succession plan in terms of our openers going forward, because I'm just not sure Marcus Harris is the answer when you consider how much he struggled in this series.
The only two that really didn't get a tick is Warner and Smith. Everyone else got runs or took plenty of wickets. So John and McLaren Vale also on the Ashes. Welcome, John.
How you going? Thank you. Ashes and another one on tennis. First of all, Channel 7 wasted their money getting them both them over. I was listening, and it probably epitomised it last night with Ricky Ponting has been super the whole summer, and he's described, as a captain, he's saying this is where his line should be, and invariably he was spot on with his commentary of where the guys were bowling and where they were taking the wicket, picking weaknesses. He and both them just sat sleeping in the back of the commentary box and just made an occasional comment when they asked him something. But he was just such a waste of space. I mean, I love the guy as his cricket was, but he was a waste of space. But anyway, that's up to Channel 7, their money.
Look, I think, John, everyone agrees that Ricky Ponting is outstanding. I was watching him commentate around one of the English batsmen, how he was playing at balls he didn't need to. He was lining up on off stump, and he said anything that's bowled outside the line of his vision, just let it go. And they then quickly were able to draw up the last 3 dismissals where they were all played at balls that could have been let go. And this is what I think. I think he would be a sensational international cricket coach. Now, we heard England talking about what would it take to get Ponting to coach England. I think this is part of the what Australia should be starting to try and do if they can get Ricky Ponting. And this is part of creating a role that is not, you have to be the coach and you have to be away from home for 300 of the 365 days of the year, because Ricky Ponting's not going to do that. So try and craft a role for him that might just be 3 months of the year, or it might be a month on and then there's a break while you do some of the smaller tours and then he comes back to it. But Ricky Ponting, I think, if I was on the board of Cricket Australia, I would be moving heaven and earth to get him involved in our coaching panel somehow. And I know he's done some T20 stuff, but I'm thinking a bit more serious than that. He's got to be involved in our test program. I think Justin Langer should be reappointed. I tend to agree with a lot of the scribes who are saying that he should not, and I think part of that might be taking a little bit away from him and perhaps loading up Ricky Ponting a little bit to get him involved.
Ricky Ponting spoke about Justin Langer.
Well, going back to Justin Langer, I can't see how he cannot be re-signed. Simple as that. If he wants to go on in this role, there's a bit of speculation about will they split the roles, will there be a test match coach and a white ball coach. On performance, there is absolutely no way that Justin Langer cannot continue on as head coach of this Australian cricket team.
So he's won the T20 World Cup and he's just retained the Ashes, or reclaimed the Ashes, 4-0, and should have been 5 but for 1 wicket. So how do you not sign him?
Yeah, and I look back over the most successful coaches that Australia have had. You go back to Bobby Simpson, 1986. He coached Australia for 10 years. Won the 87 World Cup. They regained the Ashes in 89, 90, 91, 93, 94, 95. They regained the Frank Worrell Trophy in 94, 95. Remember, that's against a really good West Indian team. And he established Australia as the #1 test ranked team. The only period that compares to that and maybe surpasses it is John Buchanan from 99 to 2007. So once again, 8 years, you get a chance to really get some stability there. He won the 2003 and 2007 World Cups. They retained the Ashes in 01, 02, 03. They lost it in 05 but got it back in 06, 07. They won the Champions Trophy. They won a world record 16 consecutive Test match wins and 23 one-day international wins in World Cups. And he retired after the 2007 World Cup. So the two most successful reigns have been for periods of 8 years and 10 years. Now, if this role as the coach of the Australian cricket team is so demanding that after 4 years people are burnt out, and that was sort of what Darren Lehmann implied, where he said, yes, it's such a tough role and that he maybe went a year too long. They've got to somehow lighten the load. And I don't know if Justin Langer needs to be involved in some of the smaller tours that potentially take you away for a couple of one-day games and a couple of T20s. I just think they need to lighten the load. If you've got great people there that are getting the results done, make it more palatable for them to stay longer term.
10 matches coming up too in the subcontinent, so we'll see just how good the Australians are. Just on John's other point, he mentioned about Ian Botham part of the broadcast. For the first time for a lot of us ever, you've now got a choice when you watch your cricket over summertime. Are you a Channel 7 person? I know you do the Crow Show. Are you watching the Fox coverage? Do you enjoy that too?
Sometimes I flick between both. So you're just getting a bit of a feel, and there's some different commentators at different stages, so you just ebb and flow. I have no real allegiance to one or the other, but I tend to enjoy a lot of the Botham doesn't offer the insights, but he offers other stuff. He's a great storyteller, and he's someone that you grew up with and you admired, and he has a larrikin streak about him. So yeah, Ricky Ponting delivers the technical stuff, and I love Trent Copeland. I think he does an excellent job with some of the stuff that he talks about. But there's other people that I really like as well, and it's the storytelling that adds colour to the whole broadcast.
Yeah, I think Michael Vaughan's excellent on Fox. Kerry O'Keefe's great on Fox. And Shane Warne is Shane Warne. I saw the doco, by the way, over the break. Have you seen the new Shane Warne documentary called Shane?
No. What do
you
you
know
think?
Who's a big fan of Shane?
Shane?
But it's excellent. If you love your cricket and you love Shane, he doesn't sort of mince too much either. He talks about all the good stuff and bad stuff, so well worth a watch.
The one thing I like about Shane Warne, one, is he says things, and two, he doesn't take himself too seriously. He has a laugh at himself as much as anyone. He cracks in. If people have a crack, he has a crack back, but I don't think he holds huge grudges and just gets on with life. So
doesn't mention Mitchell Starc a lot, though. If you can sort of leave him out of conversations, he will. Fancy having a crack at Chad Sayers. I
think Chad ended up on the right side of that argument when Uzi came in and ended up making 2 tons. So anyway, I don't mind listening to what he has to say. Shane?
If you'd like to join us, you're welcome to do so. The Sip and Save text is 0448081395 on air at 5AA.com.au, or pick up the phone. We'd love your calls. 8223 0000. We'll talk about the cricket after 5 o'clock. We'll give you the chance to go and see the Adelaide 36ers and talk some footy. The Crows are back with their pre-season training. They've had a few COVID issues. We'll speak to Tom Doedee about that.
Now you can scan your Flybuys card at Bunnings Warehouse and Officeworks. Collect points on the latest tech, your DIY deck, barbecue bits, and back-to-school lists. 2 more places to collect Flybuys points. Get scanning. T's and C's apply.
This Australia Day, surround yourself with friends, family, and your community to reflect, respect, and celebrate. Reflect on our past, present, and future. Listen to each other's stories, contributions, and dreams, and celebrate being together. Join one of hundreds of ceremonies and events taking place near you, or host your own. Plan your day. Visit australiaday.org.au. We're all part of the story. Australia Day.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. Make sure your tyres are safe these holidays with Bob Jane T-Marts. No one beats our great getaway deals. Buy 3, get 1 free, and up to $100 instant cashback on iconic brand, passenger, performance, SUV and 4x4 tyres. The biggest tyre range from just $65, our best tyre price guarantee, and Australia's largest alloy wheel choice from only $125. We'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
Make 2022 the year you take the first step to great retirement living with FIVEAA. Now is the perfect time to start thinking about the kind of life you'd like to lead. One that lets you discover new talents and create new friends while staying active and connected. The First Step team at FIVEAA are here to help you start the journey. Because once you've made the move, you'll wish you'd done it sooner. Search FIVEAA First Step today.
Dawn Creative Industries is a First Nations business connecting Australia's ancient cultures with today's corporations through Reconciliation Action Plans. A Reconciliation Action Plan is an opportunity to drive change, be a preferred employer, and build a dynamic and diverse team with greater cultural awareness. Dawn can help you discover how a Reconciliation Action Plan can evolve and enhance your business. Dawn Creative Industries, okadawn.com.au, bringing your story to life.
Wavell Mitsubishi and Southern Mitsubishi have new, demo and used vehicles with over 250 cars arriving from now until Feb. Hurry to secure yours now. Wavell Mitsubishi opposite the showgrounds and Southern Mitsubishi in Morford Vale. Driven by Australian Motors. LVD 80.
It may not be that exciting to learn that Playford Pavers are one of the few companies that still make their own pavers on site. Riveting, isn't it? But what if I told you that because Playford Pavers make their own pavers for driveways, entertaining areas and pathways, you pay a lot less? How good is that? Pay less at Playford Pavers. Visit playfordpavers.com.au.
We're at a party. 3 little kids were playing in the pool, all under 5. Adults were busy talking, glanced over, noticed a little one underwater. I think she needs help. That's how easily something can happen. It only takes a few seconds. Don't worry, the party had a happy ending. But we need to remember, fence the pool, shut the gate. Teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate and learn how to resuscitate. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive, do the 5.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly clear tonight, a low of 14. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Michaela Kamarek.
Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderroll.com.au.
SA's had a slight rise in new COVID cases today, but no more deaths. We've recorded another 3,829 infections, 227 patients are in hospital and 26 in ICU. Premier Stephen Marshall says numbers appear to have stabilised.
Nothing like the situation that we had 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were seeing a doubling every couple of days. It is very stable at the moment. We can't be complacent. We're still dealing with a highly transmissible variant. We still see big numbers interstate, but we are starting to see some very, very hopeful signs that we're at that peak now in South Australia.
The federal government is optimistic about Australia's economic recovery despite the spread of the Omicron variant. A new report by accounting firm Deloitte forecasts the economy to grow a healthy 4% this year. That's a significant improvement on contractions seen during hard lockdowns since 2020. Treasurer Josh Frydenberg says it shows our resilience.
The next few weeks are going to be tough, but the fundamentals of the economy are strong. And the good news is that the Omicron variant is 75% less severe than the Delta variant. And we're not seeing those widespread lockdowns we saw in our 2 largest states.
Tree Climb in the South Parklands says all its trees are regularly inspected and safety is its priority. Several children narrowly escaped injury when a tree branch snapped yesterday. The children's course has been closed. Arborist Marcus Lodge says the tree itself isn't decayed and no one could have foreseen it.
I suspect the most likely thing is that it got bent in a wind maybe a week or 2 ago, and then with a change in temperature over the last couple of days, might be just enough to cause any crack to open up and give way, basically.
An Australian surveillance flight will assess the damage to Tonga after a volcanic eruption and tsunami. The Air Force plane was delayed due to dangers posed by an ash cloud. Both events caused significant damage to infrastructure, including cutting phone and internet connections to the rest of the world. Foreign Minister Marise Payne says Australia will do all it can to assist.
This is a very challenging time. Communications are deeply, deeply affected by the events of the volcanic eruption. It has been felt in other parts of the region. We know ourselves. Here in Australia we have seen the effects on our own coastline.
It's understood negotiations over a plea deal for former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have hit a hurdle. He's still facing a corruption trial accused of bribery, breach of trust and fraud, but there are reports the negotiations have stalled over a condition which would remove him from politics. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
The all-new Kia Sportage is in store at New Spot Kia Salisbury Park. Order now to avoid delays. This Australian Open tennis update thanks to the super fast charging all-electric Kia EV6.
World number one Ash Barty is starting her run to win the Australian Tennis Open. Nine's Craig Gabriel reports from Rod Laver Arena.
There'll be a few butterflies for Barty when she walks onto Rod Laver Arena in about an hour for when she begins her challenge to win a third career major. No Australian woman has won the Daphne Akhurst Cup since 1978. Tonight she plays Lesia Serenko for the fourth time. She's lost to her once, but that was ages ago and before Barty got to where she is now. It could be tight for a few games, but then Ash should change gears and roll through.
Meanwhile, it was a commanding first-round win for Rafael Nadal, beating American Marcus Giron 6-1, 6-4, 6-2. There's a Big Bash game being played at Adelaide Oval this afternoon. It's the Strikers versus the Sixers. The visitors won the toss and elected to bat. They're currently 1 for 47 after 7 overs. And Crow Pole seedsman remains on light training duties after experiencing lingering symptoms from a concussion. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens repair it on the spot. $75. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
At Urbury got a smash on Fullerton Road near Kitchener Street. Ascot Park, another collision there. Dawes Road near Marion Road. Gillis Plains got a breakdown. That's on the Northeast Road near Pickman Road to the middle lane outbound. And Melrose Park, water main works on Dawes Road continue. That's near Winston Avenue. Detours and speed restrictions are in place. Cameras today, Main North Road, Mawson Lakes and South Terrace in the city. Got experience administering vaccinations? You can help the state government ensure we all get the COVID-19 booster. Visit sahealth.sa.gov.au/COVID recruitment. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Mostly clear tonight, a low of 14. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 25. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 29. And Thursday, partly cloudy, 35. Right now, it's 24. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
School chaos looming. Teachers now voting on strike action over close contact rules. The terrifying branch fall in the city tree climb site. See the moment a hammer's thrown in an Adelaide road rage encounter. The hunt for a gun-wielding bandit in the northern suburbs. And a rapid antigen scam. What to look for when buying tests online. I'm Kate Collins. See the full story on 9 News Tonight at 6.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sports Show.
6 minutes after 5. Nice to have your company. The first show of the year. Stephen Rowe is away, as we know. He's got COVID. He'll be missing this week. Mark Bickley sitting in the chair, which we are delighted to have you here, Bix. We're about to speak to one of the greats of Australian cricket, because even though it was 4-0, it was a pretty good summer.
Mission accomplished! Australia make it 4-0 in an historic Ashes test at Hobart, and they have demolished England within a session.
So we're praising the team, we're praising the batsmen, the bowlers, and the captaincy as well of Patrick Cummins. Former Aussie skipper Kim Hughes joins us. Kim, Happy New Year. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, great to be with you and all your listeners. Yeah, a great moment for Pat Cummins and the rest of the boys.
What did you make of the summer? I said at the start 4-0. Normally you'd think it's a bit of a snore fest, but it was a pretty great summer of cricket.
Well, there's certainly some moments, but what you want to see from Test cricket, as the word test says, is a real good test of bat and ball. And I don't think the Poms could have stuffed it up more. I mean, starting from their non-selection of either Broad and Anderson on an absolute, a real English condition situation in Brisbane. And from there, it didn't get any better. The lack of quality of their batsmen. Wood did amazingly well, which was at least he was a real goer. And I liked the energy of Billings was good. Stokes was very, very disappointing. And look, they were none for 60 the other day, and I thought, well, geez, the lads here have maybe got a bit of a chance if they can get through the stumps and only lose 2 or 3, and still need another 150. They might give it a good shake. But their last batting, it's summed up by, I think it was it Robinson or whoever was number 11.
Yep.
I mean, if I had him in the under-8s, I'd grab him and say, listen here, son, why don't you go and do something else? But that was possibly one of the worst dismissals I've ever seen in my whole life. It was pathetic. Now, I know they weren't going to win the game, but at least you can have a go. But to step nearly off the side of the pitch and give your wicket away, it was bloody disgraceful, and it pretty well summed them up. They were pathetic.
And that was going to be my next question, Kim. I think what's disappointed people like Ian Botham and Michael Vaughan, who are out here as former skippers commentating on this series, the lack of fight. Apart from maybe the last session in Sydney, there were 1 or 2 other sessions for the whole series. They were just meek and mild.
But there was no energy. Look, you're not going to win every game, but I like Bairstow. At least he was busy and enthusiastic. And as I said before, Billings was the same. There was some, physical energy out there. Saw nothing from Stokes. I know he had preparation wasn't great, but that's still no excuse. And I felt sorry for Joe Root. At the end of the day, he can't bat for 11 of them. And he had his troubles outside off stuff. But they were embarrassing to the 3 lines that they were, and certainly English cricket needs some harsh re-evaluation of when they play their county cricket. Too much white ball stuff, but it was soft. I thought Broad did exceptionally well, but their selections or non-selection, Anderson was brilliant in Melbourne, particularly. But you don't mind getting beat, but as long as you go down swinging. But they couldn't swing a bloody cat.
Kim, they got 60 million people roughly in the UK. You'd think they'd be able to find more than one batsman, which you mentioned was Joe Root. You talk about county cricket. What is the answer? Why have they been so insipid in recent times at Test level?
Well, I think they've look, money can talk a lot of languages, and they brought this 100-ball competition in. Plus, you've got your 2020 as well, and they play it in their peak time, in that sort of better weather in June, July, which is the middle of their summer, and they leave their county cricket into that sort of April, May, where my mother could get wickets. When the wickets are really green and juicy. But the lack of that for me, as an opener, I mean, when he played forward, he was lucky to get in front of the popping crease. I mean, they were so technically poor that it was just befuddling. And I liked the opener that came in. He looked quite good, and some had their moments. But, my idea was, it might be a bit old-fashioned, get rid of half the bloody coaches. Quite frankly, it's a pretty simple game, as football is. And as great Alan Jean said, they've got it, we've got it, it's in dispute. Master those 3. Bowl the top of off stump, batting, watch it, hit it, and be positive. And, Wokes at times was good with the bat. At least he showed some character. But, it's few and far between, and insipid. That's the thing. They just looked insipid. And I did feel sorry for Joe Root. But at the end of the day, he doesn't bat for the other 10, and he can't bowl for them. But their field settings, their left-arm spinner, I've just forgotten his name now.
Leach.
Left-arm Leach, that's him. Mate, he wouldn't get me out, even if I was blindfolded. Jesus Christ. Honestly.
Kim Hughes is our guest, the former Australian Test captain. Kim, so the woes for England, you've spelled them out quite beautifully, actually, colourfully too. Plenty of riches, though, for Australia. I know Bix wants to talk about Cam Green, but is there a better story or romantic story over the summer than Scott Boland, a bloke who toils away for 10 years in Shield cricket and then comes out and becomes a cult hero?
You're spot on. And everything about him typifies what's great about the Australian character. He's 32. He's been playing Shield cricket for 10 years. A battler, journeyman, whatever you like to call it. Got his opportunity, and Jesus, did he play well. You know, I mean, again, the other day, he's hardly going for more than 1.5 runs and over. He can tie up an end, but he's been getting wickets as well. But at one stage, lads, he had 6 for 7, and then in the next game, he had 2 for none.
Yep.
So he had 8 for 7. I mean, it's not underage. It's Test cricket, but he was just sensational, yeah, and Indigenous, the second one to play Test cricket for, apart from following on from Jason Gillespie.
Yes.
And hopefully, look, we've seen what the Indigenous boys love with their Aussie rules footy and the rugby union, rugby league, their magic. But he's hoping that what he's done, will inspire our Indigenous kids to sort of take up the game of cricket. But he was just inspirational. And the crowds just loved him because he just, as I said, typifies the good Aussie attitude of, just have a go. A bit of guts, a bit of determination. He was a ripper. And in England, he would be absolutely sensational in county cricket. But Australia, all of a sudden, have not only Cam Green, who will be the world's best all-rounder. There's no doubt about that, if he's not already.
He's on the way.
Right. He's on the way, that's for sure. His last couple of innings of 70-odd, and he really got the ball going by getting those 3 wickets. But you've got Jai Richardson, you've got Josh Inglis, you've got Ben McDermott with the bat. He looks really good, even in the 2020, by playing straight. He doesn't have to hoik it over mid-wicket. The young boy Sanger from New South Wales looks a beautiful player. So there's some really, really good youngsters that, we've got 3 tests in Pakistan. That will be another challenge. But all of a sudden, Australia's got 4 or 5 or 6 youngsters, and plus Bukowski, if he can come back, that, if they want to rest 1 or 2 older players like a Warner or
Smith.
Stark, from the bowling side of things. So, Australian cricket's got some really, a lot of good youngsters that, could be playing there for the next 8, 10, 12 years.
Kim, when we're a little bit biased here with Travis Head, but I'm sure you appreciate the way that he moves the game along, and he set up that game in Brisbane and was very good again in Hobart.
Well, he was. And look, I always felt that with Travis Head, like everybody, you're always a chance early, but he was more of a chance, I thought. I thought he was a real nicker outside off stump. But his innings, in the first innings in Tasmania, was brilliant. His play off the back foot, and that's where you judge a really good player, to be able to get back and change the length of the ball and hit it with a vertical bat back sort of point, in front of point, was absolutely breathtaking. And, he went up in my estimation, and he'll be there for a long while. A really, really dangerous player, sees it, keeps it simple and hits it, but he was absolutely fantastic and just made it look so easy, and it helps the bloke at the other end. But he was sensational, Travis Head. Brilliant.
He was indeed Player of the Series. Kim, thanks so much for your time. Always great to catch up. Enjoy the rest of the summer. We'll see what the Aussies can do in the subcontinent.
Yeah, thanks very much. Pleasure anytime, boys.
There is the former Australian Test captain, what a star, Kim Hughes.
Always good fun talking to Kim.
Great
Calls it
fun.
as he sees it there, and he was pretty disappointed with England's performance, as most people have been, and full of praise for some of the young Aussies in particular.
Couldn't get his mum out. She must have been some sort of player,
Well,
Mrs. Hughes.
Yeah, and she would take wickets, he said. And
That's right.
He'd be able to take on Leach blindfolder and make runs.
That reminds you of that great story about Don Bradman that was asked how many, in today, how many would he have averaged? He said about 70. And they, He said, well, I'm 90. So how do you think I'm going to go? Let's check the traffic. We'll give you a chance to get to the Sixers very shortly, and Tom Doedee from the Crows coming up after 5:30. Nothing beats the feeling of a new Mazda from Edwardstown Mazda. New year, new car, You.
At Erbray, look out for a smash on Fullerton Road near Kitchener Street. Ascot Park got a smash on Dawes Road near Marion Road. Gillis Plains, a breakdown on North East Road near Pittman Road to the middle lane outbound. At Melrose Park, water main works on Dawes Road continue near Winston Avenue. Detours and speed restrictions in place. And a few cameras about Dutton Terrace, Medindi, Greenhill Road, Wavell, and Julian Road at McDonald Park. Build your new home with Rivergum Homes and get $25,000 in kitchen, bathroom, flooring and appliance upgrades at no extra cost. Visit Rivergum Homes, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
As the world changes, spaces change. We should know. For 110 years, Workspace has manufactured through world wars, depressions, and now a pandemic, seeking to inspire productivity in the spaces they shaped. Adapt your space to a changing world with bespoke, high-quality furniture made here in SA. Workspace can manufacture, freight, and install your commercial furniture needs. Get solutions for the spaces of today and tomorrow. Make space work at workspace.com.au.
Leon here. I trust Zen Energy to help keep me cool in the summer. Adelaide's own Zen Energy is resetting how we do renewable energy in Australia. As we know, solar is the best way to reduce our carbon footprint, build a better world, and save on power bills. It's not too late to access government rebates, so get in quick before prices increase. Contact our friends at Zen Energy and tell them Leon sent you for an even better offer. Visit zenenergy.com.au. That's zenenergy.com.au.
Life is about choices, and there's plenty to choose from at a Barrow Hotel. Take the Excelsior, the Albion, the Birkenhead, or the Sundowner in Whyalla, all brimming with choice, especially when it comes to the latest machines in a comfortable, safe environment, with amazing staff to give you the best experience. For the latest in machines and comfort, visit the Excelsior, the Albion Hotel, the Birkenhead Tavern, or the Sundowner in Whyalla. You just know it's a Barrow Hotel. Gamble responsibly.
Are you a culinary king or queen? Or simply a microwave master? Do you need that 2-drawer dishwasher? Or would a wine fridge see more action? The first step in kitchen creation is the appliances. With Spartan Electrical's extensive range of everyday appliances, the price is right for every renovation budget. Book a selection at a Spartan Electrical showroom in Campbelltown or Torrensville. Sit down for a coffee and choose the foundation of your kitchen creation.
The first call you should make if there's been any damage to your caravan, camper or van shouldn't be to your insurance company. It should be to Dave Benson Caravans Insurance Specialists. We'll take care of the whole process, so you don't have to stress. So, if you have an accident and need repairs, get in touch with us at Dave Benson Caravans, and we'll take care of the rest. Search Dave Benson Caravans or visit us on Grand Junction Road, Kilburn. Fast, prompt, professional, competitive.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sports Show.
20 minutes after 5. No, Rowey sadly has COVID at the moment, so Mark Bickley is sitting in for the week. Rowey's fine.
He's disappointed. Too much wind over the summer. Hasn't been out fishing, but he's hopefully got his feet up. Strikers are on the TV.
Yep.
Chance to go into the finals if they have a win against the Sixers tonight. Currently 2 for 76. The Sixers are batting. And, yeah, big evening for the Strikers.
And you are right. Rowey will be flat as a Carter's hat if it is perfect fishing weather in the next week or so. If you'd like to win a family pass to see the Adelaide 36ers at the Entertainment Centre against Melbourne United, Saturday, 22nd of January, this coming Saturday, tip-off at 5:30. 8223 0055. Your chance to win. We'll play the quiz, some basketball questions as answered by Bix. Just on FIVEAA Milk scoreboard, you mentioned the Strikers also. Thanasi Kokonakis is in action at the moment against Yannick Hempman. It is 1-love in the first set, 40-30, Hempman leading. So fingers crossed, Thanasi. Sometimes, Bix, you get that major high of winning a tournament and then you bow out early. Let's hope that's not the case.
Let's hope so. The player he's playing is a qualifier, so he's got a really good chance. He's in good form. The confidence would be high. The other good thing is it gives him some, for want of a better term, a bank balance, you know, in terms of he's won semis 2 weeks ago, won the tournament last week. Let's say he wins 1 or 2 rounds here. That's another $150,000 to $200,000. It's quite staggering, the money on offer at the Grand Slams. And people talk about being able to get the right coach and to get the right support team. You can only do that if you're consistently drawing in prize money. So with the prize money comes the stability to be able to get a good team around you.
All right. Channel your inner Tony Barber. It is time for you to try and send someone to the Sixers family pass against Melbourne United. Darren from Colonel Light Gardens.
Good afternoon, Darren. How are you?
Good, Biggs. How you going?
Very well. Now, we'd love to send you to the basketball. So here we go. Which team do the Adelaide 36ers take on tomorrow night in their first game in 30 days?
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah. We'll just,
Sorry.
take a deep breath. Let me just tell you, it's one of the powerhouses of...
That was just for the language. Sorry.
One of the powerhouses of the NBL, it is, Darren.
Well, it have to be a Melbourne team.
Well, maybe not.
Sydney. I'll go Sydney Kings.
Oh, you're so close. It was a little bit more west.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Our other two callers who are ready to go have both dropped out. So I tell you what, if you could get in now, 8223 0055, you half a chance with Bix's nice hint there to go and see the Adelaide 36ers take on Melbourne United Saturday. Tip-off at 5:30. Who do the Sixers play tomorrow? And if you'd like a chance to shoot to win $1,000 at halftime and a game day experience for you and 7 mates, just register now at mymoneyhouse.com.au/36ers.
Okay, Adrian has got in first. Adrian, who do the 36ers play tomorrow night?
Is it the Wildcats?
Sure is, Adrian. Congratulations. You've got the tickets to go along and watch that match, of course. Oh, sorry, this is the Saturday night's match, which is against Melbourne United. Plus, as Leith mentioned, you got the chance to shoot and win $1,000 at halftime, plus a game day experience for you and 7 mates. You can register right now at mymoneyhouse.com.au/36ers. Great job, Adrian.
Thank you.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank
Calm
you.
down the excitement there,
Cool,
Adrian.
yeah, just dial it down.
What about there's a full board of people too have called in going, Bix has just given the hint. I know the answer. We'll play again tomorrow. Your chance to go to that particular match. Hey, Bix, before the 5:30 headlines, Tom Doedee on the other side. The AFL have come out today. They've written to the club GMs of footy, the senior coaches, outlining tighter interpretations of existing rules regarding time delays and holding the ball. So effectively, umpires will be less lenient towards players who deliberately delay the play. Free kick or 50-metre penalty to be awarded there. They'll no longer give a warning to players who deliberately engage in time wasting, and a free kick will be awarded, while holding the ball will be less lenient to players who've had a prior Bix. No more 360 and 720. None of that.
I am a little bit hesitant to say this is going to be great, because there's a couple of things. Let's take the time wasting, for example. What does it look like? I hope they are going to really explain it, and it's really tight, and they're able to show lots and lots of examples, because for me, a player getting up slowly and holding on to the ball, is that time wasting? A guy lying on top of another player while he's trying to get up, is that time wasting too? What happens if two guys, you know how they often fight for the ball before they want to hand it back to the umpire? So who's breaching the time wasting there when both teams are doing it? It's just so ambiguous. And the thing that when time wasting happens most is when, in a close game, when one team's 2 or 3 points up, and guess what will happen? Someone will arguably try and delay the game, and then that's when there'll be a 50-metre penalty and a goal, and it'll change the result, and people will say, why are we bothering with this? Do we really want that to decide a game? So I generally am pretty supportive of the AFL, but I think this one just opens it up to make it so difficult for the umpires to be consistent when there are so many examples of what time wasting looks like.
And prior opportunity's always been a bugbear for a lot of people. So the cues now for umpires in 2022, evading, fending. So the Dustin Martin fend, that now will be holding the ball, if that's the case.
But hasn't it always been? If you don't dispose of it after fending off, that's prior opportunity.
Ducking and a prior option. You're just making it harder for the umpires.
Well, and what they said was if you have prior opportunity and you are tackled, you have to immediately dispose of it. So what does immediately look like? It's so difficult, because is immediate 1 second? Is it 2 seconds? Is it 3 seconds? What does it look like? And that's why the 360 one, I don't mind that. It's actually never a rule, to be fair. They've used it as a guideline. If someone swung around 360, at least that is consistent. If someone swung around 270, and he handballs it, that's fine. If someone's swung around 720, well, that's just holding the ball, because we know you do a lap, and that's what we're looking for. At least that is, you've got the ability to be consistent, because it is in concrete. It's either 360 degrees or it's not. Getting rid of it immediately, there's still so much grey, isn't there?
But is there not some onus on the tackler too? If you can do a 720, that means you're not tackled hard enough, because I should have that time that I can wait for the
You're
right
not being
person
retarded
to go past.
enough.
That's right.
Once again, we have to make it easier for, one, the umpires, and two, the sporting public, to be able to interpret it in a black and white manner, so that we understand what the rule is. And when we see it, it's obvious to us whether it's a free kick or not, so that it's obvious to the umpires as well. And then we're all on the same page, because at the moment there are a lot of people that quite rightly yell out, "Oh, he swung him round 360, that's holding the ball." That's nowhere written in the rule book.
No.
And so depending on who the coaching director is, depending on how it's being interpreted, if you're going to bring something in and there is a black and white rule like that, let's change it so that if you are swung 360, that is a rule. Let's do that, as opposed to having Brad Scott come in and saying, well, we're going to make it a slightly different interpretation.
And on the time wasting, to quote Stephen Rowe, since button-up boots, people have been throwing it up in the air to get that little bit of extra. So is that now a 50-metre penalty? Is that now a free kick, if that's the case? Do you have to get it back straight away on the chest?
And what happens if it's a free kick and I get the free kick and the ball was a metre away from me? What happens if I walk really slowly to pick the ball up?
That's right.
Is that time wasting? Is the free kick reversed? So I hope...
Good luck.
And look, I've got a lot of confidence in Brad Scott, because he's a footy person. He's been a coach. He's been a great player, and he understands footy. So I'm hoping that he is able to alleviate our fears by just showing us some really concrete examples. This is what it looks like. This will be penalised, but little things like this won't be penalised. But we're not going to stand for players who just lie on the ball and waste 30 seconds or waste 20 seconds. We want to speed the game up.
Can put all these to Tom Doedee, as well as pre-season and what's going on COVID-wise at Westlakes. He's going to join us next.
The biggest stories of 2021, as heard on Adelaide's FIVEAA.
The most powerful people on earth are in Glasgow right now.
They need to come to Glasgow with plans to reach net zero.
That isn't going to be possible without nuclear power in the mix.
In 2022, trust FIVEAA.
World leaders are being warned the summit in Glasgow is the last chance for definitive action on climate change. Call me a cynic. I reckon I've heard the last chance once or twice.
Always informing Adelaide. This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. South Australia has recorded another 3,829 new COVID-19 cases today and no further deaths. The damage caused by a volcanic eruption and tsunami near Tonga remains unclear, with communications severely impacted. The British Prime Minister is facing renewed calls to resign over the government's Partygate scandal, and world number one Ash Barty gets her Australian Open campaign underway tonight. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
At Rowey got a smash on Fullerton Road near Kitchener Street. Ascot Park got a smash on Dawes Road near Marion Road. Gillis Plains got a breakdown on the Northeast Road near Pickman Road that's in the middle lane outbound. And Flagstaff Hill speeds reduced on Flagstaff Hill Road near South Road for those upgrade works. Cameras today, South Terrace in the city and Sampson Road at Elizabeth Grove. A new and independent home for BMW is now open on Brighton Road. Visit Glenelg BMW and discover the range of new demonstrator and pre-owned vehicles. Search Glenelg BMW. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Mostly clear tonight, a low of 14, sunny tomorrow 25. Right now it's 24. More news at 6 o'clock in As It Happens on FIVEAA.
Everybody loves their country.
I'm Anthony Fay from Ray White's Real Estate. During open inspections, modern window furnishings done well really get the offers rolling in. They bring a look of quiet luxury to a home. Smart home improvements add value. Stunning curtains and shears are a feature that really makes a difference.
Improve, invest and add value with beautiful curtains and shears to match by country. Visit countryblinds.com.au for a free measure and quote.
Everybody loves their country.
Hi, Malcolm Blight here. You'll love the way they do business at Knowles Caravans with 4.5 decades of experience. Knoll is proud to present their exclusive range of Island Star caravans. Visit their beautifully presented yard and talk to Knowles' friendly staff about your personal needs. They can custom build your caravan at Knowles Island Star Caravans, 561 Salisbury Highway, Greenfields, opposite Mawson Lakes, serving Australia since 1974.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans.
This is RB Day with more tales from the bedroom thanks to Supercraft Bedding. Back when you could only buy our mattresses from big department stores, one canny delivery driver named Graham had a run-in with one of our big buyers. He told Graham, "You'll never sell to a department store again." And so, we've been selling direct to you without the middleman ever since. This is RB Day for Supercraft Bedding, building better beds at 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
Okadorn Creative Industries is a First Nations business connecting Australia's ancient cultures with today's corporations through Reconciliation Action Plans. A Reconciliation Action Plan is an opportunity to drive change, be a preferred employer and build a dynamic and diverse team with greater cultural awareness. Okadorn can help you discover how a Reconciliation Action Plan can evolve and enhance your business. Okadorn Creative Industries, okadorn.com.au, bringing your story to life.
If you're building a home, the Selector Homes Display Village is a great place to start. Your ideas and imagination will flow. There's nothing else quite like it in Adelaide. Different homes for different lifestyles, all in the one location. Walk through the sanctuary. It's simply stunning, with an incredible Jarrah facade, polished concrete floors and a sensational use of space. Explore the Selector Homes and Building Solutions Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton. Visit selectorhomes.com.au.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap-price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sports Show.
27 minutes to 6. No Rowey, for those who missed the news earlier in the show, tested positive to COVID yesterday, so due to that, he'll be out of action for the week, but returning next week. The two-time Hall of Fame zippity-doo Mark Bickley is here. And Bix, that is the new norm. This is what we're going to have to get used to in all workplaces right around the country.
And I'm interested to talk to Tom about what do the protocols look like. Last year there was a number of PCR tests during the week. Now we've got rapid antigen tests. Have we switched over to that? How often are they being tested? So a whole range of different protocols required.
Yeah. Crow star, 5AA favourite Tom Doedee joins us. Tom, Happy New Year.
To you too, guys. Thank you for having me.
Now, Tom, I just mentioned about the different protocols. How is it now? It's no longer a huge thing when we hear of one player at an AFL club testing positive to COVID. There's been a number over the break that end up being COVID positive. What are the protocols like?
Yeah, it's been interesting, Bix. It's basically similar to 2020 when it first started. We're rapid test every day to enter the club, so you have to submit that via photo before you actually enter the club, and then PCR test once a week unless something else pops up, and then outside of that it's just try not to live too much of a life that would cause you to contract COVID. So it's been different. It's been a little bit difficult at times, but we're getting used to it as we've found the last 2 years. You have to adapt to the changes that come, and they're coming pretty rapidly. And
has there been much disruption to the group, or has it been mainly over the break where many people contracted it?
No, it was mainly the Christmas period. So our first session back this time last week, it was we had limited numbers, but today I think we pretty much had everyone back. So we're back to basically full match sim in terms of the 18 on 18 or close enough to. So it was a little bit disrupted last week, and then we sort of had to get used to the rapid test in the morning and wearing a mask in the gym and in meetings and all that sort of stuff. But it's starting to become the norm, and everyone's settling back in, which has been good.
It is nice to have them back, Tom. One player who's not there at the moment, though, is Paul Seedsman. Can you walk us through the concerns you have with that?
It's basically, as most concussions are, they're obviously extremely concerning, whether it's a 1 week or a long-term one, just because it involves the head and the brain, and it's something we definitely don't take lightly. But yeah, it's more just for Cedo. Unfortunately, it's just a constant popping up of symptoms on different activities and things like that. So because they've been lingering around for a while, we're not taking any risks with it, and he's all on board with that, just because he knows that it's a pretty severe thing at the moment. We're just hoping that he can start to get some exercise symptom free and move on. And we know how big he is for our team. He finished second or third in the BNF last year, and he's incredible for the younger boys. So we need him back, and hope for his health and his sake that he's back sooner rather than later.
Now, Tom, it's often this time of year we talk about new recruits and the impact they're going to make come the real season. I think, and a lot of people think, one of the biggest recruits is Darren Burgess. Tell us about his impact so far.
Yeah, Burjo's been great. I think he comes in with a bit of a reputation as a hard unit who's just going to run you till you're off your legs and you can't walk anymore. But he's extremely professional and specific with what he does. It's not necessarily just run you until you drop. It's running catered towards your position and what we need to achieve as a group. And he's got some great stories from his travels around different AFL clubs and Premier League clubs. And he's pretty good in running meetings with a couple of gags here and there with the boys as well. So he come in with a bit of a reputation, but in terms of the professionalism stuff, he's lived up to what we expected from him, and the boys are really getting around and trusting in his process and the way that he gets it done. And I think we're starting to see the results of that already with how we're getting through training and the numbers that we've got out there on the track.
Okay, well, who's been the star? Who's picked up the cudgel, so to speak, and run with it and really sort of embraced what he's had to do?
Yeah, good question. Big Riley O'Brien, our regular runners, Big Riley O'Brien, Lockie Scholl, Ned McHenry, they're all continue to put in a good foot forward. Dawson, Doedee, the new recruit, he's been running well. Just trying to think of who else. Even the young boys that have come in, it's not usually you get reintroduced in terms of you're coming from 18, it's a little bit different. But Burjo's sort of a bit more, hey, let's just get them in and see how they go, and we'll manage them when they need to. And they've all taken it well and been training, doing pretty much 100% of the sessions, maybe get pulled out of conditioning here and there, and they're all holding up well. So he honestly had a positive impact on every player, and that was what we were hoping when he came in, and he's lived up to it.
So many people were impressed with Riley Thilthorpe's year last year, particularly early on when he burst onto the scene, had that amazing debut. We've heard about his physical attributes. How's he embracing his second pre-season?
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. He's got a few little things popping up here and there just because he's an incredibly hard worker, and I know over the off-season and the Christmas break he would have been putting in extra work and probably running random hills or something to get himself better because that's how he's wired. And every day he's out there on the track. He's always out early, probably 5 or 10 minutes early, doing goal kicking and leading. And he's just such a workhorse, and he loves to have a dance in the gym, and he's a bit of a goofball when it comes to the off-field stuff. But when he's on the track, he's 100% focused, and yeah, he's been incredibly impressive. And I know there's high expectations on him, being number 2 overall pick, 5 goals on debut and whatnot, but he's not let that get to his head. He's not complacent. He's working harder than ever, and it's incredible to see from a senior player like myself, someone who comes in and works as hard as he does.
Well, Leith, I've played a lot of footy and been around footy clubs, but I don't think I've ever used that sentence. He loves a bit of a dance in the in the weights room. I must say, it's a different world.
Didn't really apply. He's a bit cheeky, old Riley. He's a bit cheeky. He just doesn't mind coming up and just giving you a bit of an annoying dance just to put you off your weight.
Trying to think who that would have been nowadays. Bix, Wayne Wiedemann, any of those?
Yeah, no,
hey, Tom. We've been discussing the new rules coming out from the AFL. When news like that breaks about time wasting and holding the ball, is that conversations that are had around the club straight away?
Yeah, I just was scrolling Twitter before you guys called, and so I didn't actually dive too deep into it. So I'm not 100% across what it is, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty much been since I got to the club in 2016 that it's just there's changes every year, and we just need to keep adapting to them. And we get umpires out to umpire our scrimmages and intra-club games, and they talk us through the new rule, how they're going to go about it, and then we get a bit of a first-hand look at the changes that they've made. So it's always changing. I don't know whether that's great for the game or not, but because they are always changing and there's different ways to interpret the rules, we have to be ahead of it, and can be the difference between a win and a loss. So it's something that all players and staff have to be across.
Now, a bit of controversy during the off-season. You went on Twitter and said that Spider-Man No Way Home was a little bit overrated. Now, I went along with my 9-year-old son and loved it, thought it was outstanding. Did you got much flack over that?
Oh, plenty.
Because it's highly rated by all the movie buffs around the place, and you stood alone like a silo there against it.
Yeah, I'm extremely comfortable on my own, mate. I'm extremely comfortable on with an unpopular opinion and the flack I'll cop for it. But no, look, to be honest, I'm not a massive Marvel man. I'll clarify with that. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking it's going to be one of the greatest movies of all time. The way people were talking about it, best movie ever, best Marvel movie. So I went in with an expectation of Godfather-esque, and it come out and it was just another Marvel movie with some fan service in the end. So I enjoyed it. I put it at number 7 also in my top 10 for the year. So I didn't hate it. But yeah, people just, when you throw in overrated, the people just go just the eyes light up and they're just, let's take this bloke's head off.
Beauty of Twitter too is that people will let you know, Tom. They're not afraid of that. What have you seen then over the summer that you like that Bix and Tori can maybe just sidle up on the couch and watch?
Licorice Pizza by Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie. That one's a beauty. Coda on Apple TV. It's like Child of Deaf Adult. That's a very, very touching one. Dune, obviously, in cinema, that's epic if you can go and get and see that.
Yeah, that doesn't really float my boat, that one, the Dune. I'm happy with Coda.
Yeah,
but
it's a build-up movie, that one. Yeah, Coda's beautiful. But no, there's a few goodies. There's definitely some out there. Just stay away from the Marvel sometimes. Just, vary it up a bit. Everyone just binges Marvel. Just give something different.
Okay, and just one final one. It's been remiss of us not to ask how you're tracking. Are you fit? You're well? You're running on top of the ground?
Yeah, all good. No, pretty much had a little bit pre-Christmas in terms of needed to build back up into it just to ensure the issues from previous years didn't flare up. And since then, I've been going pretty well. I took a bit to get going today because I spent all of yesterday watching NFL on the couch, so it's probably not best for my body. But I got through that, and once I got warm, I was pretty good. So all in all, it's pretty positive on my front. And
the Telstra Store Mount Bark text line, just asking about Wayne Miller. How's he tracking after 2 years on the sidelines?
Yeah, Jude, he's been really good. It's probably the most positive and joyful thing of the pre-season so far has been watching him join in full contact drills and be around with the boys and actually being able to do proper drills instead of being stuck up in the gym on his own with his headphones in on a bike. So he brings so much to our group, both on field and off field, and he's a leader in his own way. And he was my draft brother, so I'm very excited to see him back on the field and be able to play with him again because it's been too long, and he's such a special footballer that I think we've all been deprived of the opportunity to watch him play. So I can't wait to see him back, and it's been incredible to watch him actually come back and be able to play footy and not be doing rehab.
Absolutely. Another one on the text line before we let you go, Tom. What did you get for Christmas?
Not a whole lot. I'm a bit of a Grinch, to be honest. I don't give a lot of gifts out, and I don't get a lot back. I think that's probably what.
There's a direct correlation there, Tom. I don't know if you've worked that out yet. Maybe you dial up the gifts and they might start flowing back.
Yeah, I've probably just put that together in my head as I'm talking right now. But my mum in Geelong, she's a massive Christmas sort of activities set up, so she loves doing different games, and the winner gets prizes and all that. So that's probably what I got for Christmas, was winning a couple of cash prizes with cards and stuff like that. But I'm not massive on gifts and gift giving and all that. It's not my time of the year. I
also noticed you were doing a bit of home renovation. You're a bit of a handyman. How did it go? You didn't ruin anything, did you?
Oh, I've ruined everything. I'm garbage. I had a jackhammer and I went straight through the slab of concrete. I'm no good, but I'm giving it a go here and there. I pay the people to do the more important stuff, and if there's something I can try and give a go that doesn't completely destroy the house or burn it down, I'll try that. But yeah, you ask anyone who's close to me, I wouldn't know what a hammer is versus a screwdriver, but I'm giving it a go.
Well, I tell you, Matty Nix just drove off the road when you said you had a jackhammer. The last thing he wants you to do is put that through your foot or something.
Hey, Tom, I
did do that.
We've covered every topic, I reckon, today. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, we've done well.
Have a great pre-season. We look forward to it, and we can't wait for the season. I'm sure you're just chomping at the bit, so appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
There is Tom Doedee, Crow Star, Leadership Group member, 5AA Breakfast very own, movie buff.
He's across most things, Tom. He's pretty comfortable with all the questions. That's why we sort of went there with it. But I think the most important thing is most guys are on the track, which is really good. You've got some guys like Wayne Miller Jr. who haven't played a lot of footy that are out there and amongst it. And the new players to the footy club are up and about and they've been loaded up. So, in terms of when you get new players in, they really have to get a body of work in their first pre-season to be able to have a realistic chance of making an impact in their first year. So if they've been able to do that under Darren Burgess, that's a good sign, particularly for some of those higher picks that Adelaide picked up this year.
You're concerned about Paul Seedsman? So he copped a knock before Christmas, still having some effects now. What are we, 17th day of January? This is the way it is now? Well,
if you're going to have a head knock and miss a month, best to miss January than April or May or June. So let's hope that gets right. Then you get an opportunity to still get the work in your legs in terms of the running. You don't have to do the physical stuff straight away. When there's games every week, you need to replicate that physical stuff before you can get back into it. They can nurse him a little bit. And let's be honest, his value is ball in hand, running and kicking. So if that means that he doesn't quite do a lot of physical stuff in the next month, I think he'll still survive.
Because he's on light duties at the moment, hasn't joined the running group, but he'll get over the symptoms and then away he goes. So fingers crossed. Tom Doedee, our guest, we're going to take a short break. 8223 0000 if you'd like to join us before we wrap up at 6 o'clock. Here's the traffic first, and nothing beats the feeling of a new Mazda from Edwardstown Mazda. Think a new year, a new car and a new you.
At Ranello got reports of a smash on Sheriff's Road near Brodie Road. At Melrose Park, water-main works on Dawes Road continue near Winston Avenue. Detours and speed restrictions in place. Flagstaff Hill, speeds reduced on Flagstaff Hill Road near South Road for those upgrade works. And got a few cameras about North-South Motorway Bolivar, Robe Terrace North Adelaide and Samson Road at Elizabeth Grove. Clean is the new healthy at Guzmani Gomez Mexican Kitchen. No added preservatives, artificial flavours, colours or unacceptable additives. Burritos and bowls just $9.90 via the GYG app. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Pricezone Pharmacy's 3-day sale starts tomorrow. Save up to half price on skincare, sun care, tanning and selected vitamins. Plus double Sister Club points. Terms and conditions apply.
G'day, it's Jared Walsh for Wayville Mitsubishi. Wow, there's some exciting stuff happening. The iconic Wayville Australian Motors Mitsubishi Service Centre on Goodwood Road is going through a spectacular rebuild. So while that's in progress, please drive into Davenport Lane to drop your vehicle off for servicing. As always, you can expect the very best servicing and repairs, so it's business as usual. Just drive into Davenport Lane to drop your vehicle off to the incredible Wayville service team, driven by Australian Motors.
Now, you might think it's hard to get excited about shelving, but not when you're talking about Sharman Shelving. Now is the perfect time to get in touch with Sharman Shelving to get your workshop fitted out. From workbenches, shelving, cabinets, tool trolleys, open angle shelving, stainless steel benches, steel cupboards, even van and cool room shelving, Sharman Shelving can literally do anything, including made to measure. That is very, very important because these guys are the shelving experts. Jump onto the Sharman Shelving website, have a look, or you can visit their Facebook page. You'll be blown away with what the team at Sharman Shelving can make. If you're in business, Sharman Shelving should be your first go-to for a workshop fit-out. Just talk to Christine or Bill. They'll give you a free measure and quote, or you can jump online at sharmanshelving.com.au or call into their showroom on 412 North East Road, Windsor Gardens.
Looking for New Year bargains? Then head to Harris Scarf's Stocktake sale now before it's too late. You'll find up to 60% off homewares in Manchester, up to 50% off clothing and underwear, and up to 30% off electrical. Plus great deals on designers like Shayna Blaze, Jane Lamerton and Chica Home. You can even click and collect within 3 hours. So for great brands at great sale prices, head to Harris Scarf. Don't miss out. Sale ends Tuesday 1st of February. Exclusions apply. See in-store or online for details.
You know us for our bright blue vans. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. We are the proud winners of the Product Review Award for Plumbing in Australia for 2020 and 21. Did you know we offer $0 deposit interest-free payment plans, have no extra charge for after hours and can also often be at your door within the hour? Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. Available 24/7.
Adventure has never been bigger with Royal Caribbean and Phil Hoffman Travel. On board, you'll find next-level dining and game-changing entertainment. Plus Royal Caribbean's sun-soaked savings. Save up to 30% off every guest and receive up to $600 to spend at sea. Whatever your budget, every inch of a Royal Caribbean ship is designed to wow you. Cruise until April 2023 to the South Pacific, New Zealand, Australia and more. Ends 31st of January. Visit pht.com.au.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. This is Rowey's Sports Show.
9 minutes to 6. Mark Bickley sitting in for Stephen Rowe. Rowey's tested positive to COVID. We'll be missing for the week, but back next week. And we look forward to that. For our great mates at Fleurieu Milk, look for it at your local Bix. Hope you had plenty of Fleurieu Milk.
Sure did.
On the Christmas table. Bad news for Thanasi Kokonakis. He's gone down in the first set 6-2. They're about to start the second. So chocolates,
No, don't say that.
I'm
He's a
hoping
fighter.
it's not the case. Let's hope so.
5 sets in the big one, so he'll be fine.
Ash Barty in action tonight. Isla Tomljanovic in action tonight. So too John Millman. All of the big guns got through, including Rafa Nadal earlier today. And the strikers are in action in the Big Bash. What have you made of the Big Bash over the summer? Their form early was pretty ordinary. They've fought back, won 3 of the last 4. They're in action against the Sixers as we speak. 18 overs, 4 for 140. The Sixers, they need to win this if they want to play the finals, the strikers.
Yeah, the Big Bash, it's lost a little bit of its luster, if you ask me. I think a couple of years ago, New Year's Eve game, 45,000 each time you get an opportunity. There was big crowds there. Then they extended it, and it became, I think it went from 8 to 14, and now it's just, I feel like it's lost a bit of its luster. It's not the must-watch that it used to be. I know it maybe takes a bit of an impact when the strikers haven't been going that well. Like you said, they fought back, they win tonight, they play final, so maybe we'll get back engaged with it a little bit. But I think it needs a revamp. Now, I still love the cricket, and there's still huge highlights and great catches, and we get exposed to young players, but I think it needs a few more stars. There's not the big names that it used to have. And also I think a couple of the rule changes, the bonus points and a few of those things haven't really worked. So for me, it needs a revamp, and it wouldn't bother me if they shorten the season a bit.
COVID hasn't helped, with crowds being concerned of, hanging around with thousands of others, so that hasn't. Poor form doesn't help. And I think also, and Max Gorn put out an interesting tweet over summer. He said, give the tennis back to 7, give the cricket back to 9, and give the Big Bash back to Channel 10.
At least you know where you are.
There was some truth to that in that you knew every night at Channel 10 you would see the Big Bash. Now it's difficult. And I know they're playing catch-up games because of COVID, but we had 2 strikers games this week at 10 in the morning. Like, if you're not all over your TV guide and you're not able to get there, you just don't know. It just disappears.
Well, even this game that's on tonight at the Adelaide Oval is we're halfway through the game, and what are we? We're 7 minutes to 6. Used to start 6:30 and go through to 10 at night, and you had the twilight and all those great things. But I think it's just lost a little bit of its luster, and it just needs a bit of a revamp. That's what I'm hoping they're going to go with next year.
6 minutes to 6 for the first time this year.
The last shout.
Something caught your attention, Bix, in the coaching realm.
Yeah, this was a coach. I think it's in the Premiership, in the English Premiership League. It was a coach who was talking about his team. He was asked a question, and this is one of the most convoluted answers that I think I can remember. Let's have a listen.
Well, Mark, FA Trophy tie at home against Bromley this weekend. What's your thoughts ahead of the game?
If a tree falls and no one is there to hear it fall, does it make a noise? So, does a penguin get cold? What way does your bath water go, clockwise or anti-clockwise, when you take the plug out? These are questions which are going to be asked of us. These are questions we've got to have the answers to. We're always looking for solutions, and we've got to come up with solve the equation sometimes. But, Sam's had a lovely haircut. It's started to grow out now. Coops is here, working silently away. Robbie's over there. It's the first time he's been quiet today. Terry's brought a briefcase in, He's got 4 Japanese talking dogs in there. But this is what we work with, and we'll continue to work hard.
Yeah, there you go. That was the manager of Aldershot Town. So I'm not sure what league they play, and I might have got that wrong. But the manager there just.
So he either doesn't like the media
lyrical
and just wants to give it to them, or it was a gag or a put on and just get in as many obscure references as you can.
He just lost me with about the 5th cliche.
What about the dogs in their briefcase?
Yeah, wow.
That's good. Sam Tugwell.
Welcome, and thanks for having me for the first time this year. It's nice to be here. Jack Thompson, probably a name you don't know very well.
We're not talking the actor, are we? We're talking the golfer.
No, we're talking sport here. We've Jack Thompson, Adelaide young lad who's a golfer. He's on the tour and very, very good. He's climbing up nice and slowly up the PGA Tour table in the rankings. Now, I've just seen he's climbed up to 565 in the world. Doesn't seem like much, you would have thought. But just below him, 566 in the world, is just a name that everyone else knows in the world, Tiger Woods. Oh. Nice to see that our very own and little old Jack Thompson here from Adelaide is trying to make his way in the golfing world, and he's just climbed past Tiger Woods, so he's on the right way.
Yeah, I reckon 5 years ago, if you had said, Jack, you're going to be ranked above Tiger Woods, he'd be thinking, oh my goodness, am I going to be in for a career?
You just screenshot that, don't you? You make it your Twitter profile. I'm going to finish my last shout with Dak Prescott, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Great game today that they just blew in the last 20 seconds. The fans weren't happy. They threw bottles at the the players. They also threw bottles at the referees, and Dak had an interesting take on the fans going bananas.
It's sad. I mean, you're talking about a team, you're talking about men that come out each and every day of their lives and give everything to the sport, give everything to this game of football. Nobody wants to succeed more than we want to succeed. I understand fans and the word fan for fanatic. I get that, but that's tough.
Aiming at the referees.
Well, shit, credit to them then.
That's not
credit to them.
Yeah, don't throw them at us, but if you want to have a go at the ref, so we'll see more of that to play out over the coming weeks with the NFL playoffs in full swing. Bix, thanks for sitting in today. Appreciate it for Rowey. We will see you tomorrow from 4 o'clock.
Everybody loves it.